We just had a terrible thunderstorm, and our corn, our beautiful corn, this is the prettiest corn we've ever had, and all of it's down. Well, this is the corn. We had a big storm come through last night. We were under a thunderstorm watch. It was just a good heavy rain, and must have been some wind involved too. But the corn, our beautiful corn, this is the prettiest corn we've ever grown. It was gorgeous, and now it's all laying down. But we're gonna leave it, and hopefully, maybe it will stand back up when the sun comes out. We'll see. But it is sure down now. It's interesting, it like blew down in a circular pattern. All this is blown this way, and then you circle around, and over here it's blown this way. So interesting, but it is definitely down. Depressing news. Anyway, we'll see what happens when the sun comes out. Maybe not a total loss. Hopefully not a total loss. Alright, this is 12 hours later, and you can see it is trying, at least on this end, trying to stand up. We had 12 hours of pretty much full sun today, and it is not near as close to the ground. It's trying to stand. So I'll come back and show you again tomorrow. Let me show you this end. This end wasn't knocked down as severely as the other end. This end is pretty much on the ground, but tomorrow's supposed to be sunny again, or at least partially sunny, so we'll see if it stands up tomorrow. It's not as badly down as it was this morning. Okay, this is 12 hours later, 12 hours since the last time I filmed this, and it is starting to stand up, standing up well. So this is a total of 24 hours since the first time I filmed it. And it is working on standing back up. Looks a lot better. I actually have hope that it may work. This end still looks bad, but it's standing up more than it was. Let me get it from the front. It's trying to stand up. It was pretty much laying flat on the ground on this end, but it's pulling itself up. I'll come back and show it again this afternoon. Trying to film every morning and every afternoon to see, but we've got a hurricane coming through. It's supposed to start raining again Monday, which is tomorrow, so we'll know what that'll do to it. We'll see. Okay, another 12 hours has gone by, and this is what it looks like now. It's basically stood back up again. This end looks better than this row down here, but it's definitely stood back up a lot. So maybe it's going to be all right. But we have the tropical storm Cristobal is coming through tonight, and we're supposed to get rain and wind. So I don't know if it'll blow it right back down again or not. But from that one storm we had, it has picked itself back up. It's pretty impressive. But I'll come back and show you what it looks like tomorrow after the storm comes through. But if your corn gets blown down, just leave it alone and it'll stand back up. Most of the time it'll stand back up. Okay, this is the next morning after that last corn shot I did. And Cristobal came through last night and is still coming through in waves now, and it looks like we just have that one row on the far right that's down. I don't know if that's coming back. It's all twisted up, but the rest of it is stood up and is still standing, so hopefully it will make it through today. If it can make it through today, hopefully we'll be good. But it's still upright, but we're supposed to get really strong wind gusts with this tropical depression now, so we'll see. Okay, this is Monday afternoon after we've had the remnants of, it's now a tropical depression, Cristobal, coming through all day. And the corn is down from this morning, but only in this little section. Let me show where the edge of the house is. And we're thinking that because the winds are coming from the south, because of the storm. So, and I'm facing south now, so they're blowing straight through here, and they just have a straight little alleyway to come through here. Let me back up. Straight through, there's the edge of the house, and that's even with where the corn is laying down. All this corn here is still upright. So we're thinking that it's got a through path here where the house isn't, and it's kind of, the house is kind of creating a little bit of a buffer over here, the two houses, but the area where the house isn't, all this is down. So we're hoping it'll stand up just like it did before, because we're supposed to have the rest of the week is supposed to be pretty and sunny. So I'll come back and show. We're not going to touch it, we're not going to mess with it, we're just going to let it stand back up. Okay, this is the next morning after was Hurricane Tropical Depression Cristobal came through, and we had a storm 2 days before that knocked all the corn to the ground. It was completely laying down, completely flat. Well, this end stood up, looks great. This end stood up and looked great too, but then Cristobal came through and knocked this little section down, and we think, like I said yesterday, it's because the wind was able to come through this little alley, this little breezeway created by the house, and over here there was kind of a buffer zone, but it blew this corn down again. But we're hoping the sun's supposed to come out this afternoon and then be sunny the rest of the week, so we're hoping when the sun comes out, it'll draw this up straight again. So we'll see. I'll keep updating you. It's pretty fun to watch. And this is perfectly upright. It doesn't even look like it was blown down, well, except for a couple casualties, but for the most part it's looking great. Over here you'll see a little bit of damage, but for the most part it's all stood up. So we may get a crop of corn out of this after all. I sure hope so. It hasn't even begun to tassel. Some pretty healthy plants in here. Maybe the sun will make it all stand up even nicer. But I'll come back and show it, but we've done nothing to it, nothing to help it, just letting it stand back up on its own. Okay, this is the next morning, and this is 2 days after the hurricane came through, and the corn's trying to stand up. This row's kind of all twisted up and messed up. They fell down different ways, so I don't know if it's going to be able to stand. Got the stalks crisscrossed in here, but everything else is trying to lean back up. We'll see. This end still looks pretty good. This end looks a lot better than it did, even though it's still a little laid over. But we'll see. It's making progress towards standing, and it's just barely. And I can even find it on all the stalks. Let me try to find you one. Well, I found one yesterday. It's just starting to tassel, just barely. There's one. There's a little tassel, so, I mean, it hasn't started releasing pollen at all. There's no ear silk or anything, so, I mean, this should be in plenty of time if it stands up and gets to stay up for a while. We may still get a harvest of corn out of it. Fingers crossed. Well, it's evening now, and it was sunny all day long, and the corn has pretty much stood back up. These that were crossed over each other, they aren't all the way up because they were tangled, but they're pretty much upright, and I don't know, they're kind of curved down at the bottom, but they're still upright, tassels facing up. But all the rest of them, again, this one has some curves in it, but they're pointing upward. And to go from laying flat on the ground like they were to being like this, I'm very pleased. So it's 5 days from that original storm that knocked them flat to the ground, and 2 days after Cristobal came through. And it's pretty much upright, and it is just, I know I showed this morning, but it is just starting to tassel. So we have the rest of this week, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and all of next week, I believe, where we don't have any chances of rain. It should be sunny and nice, so hopefully we'll have a good stand of corn. I think it may work now. I was really disappointed when I saw it on the ground and figured we could just give it up, but it stood up and it's doing well. So that's what you do if your corn gets knocked down. You do absolutely nothing and watch it, and it usually will stand back up. We've had it blown down so badly a couple times where it didn't, where it actually blew it down and cracked the stalks. But if your stalks are still intact at the bottom and just blown over, they'll stand back up. And that's what this has done. So that's about it. We'll come back and do more corn updates later as this begins to tassel and form ears. But this is after the 2 storms, and it's all back pretty much upright. Thanks for watching.